Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyil ameen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wattabi'ina lahum bi ihsanin ila yawmiddin. Amma ba'd. Distinguished online guest, my dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to our weekly English lecture. And indeed, let's welcome Dr. NASIM SHIRAZI as our today's guest speaker. So, International Islamic Economics Association of Kuwait University is very much pleased to welcome you to today's session entitled Sustainable Development, a Case of Sharing Economy. This is a part of our activities and programs which usually promotes a wide range of areas of the Islamic economics and banking, and we try to arrange training workshops, talks, and lectures which usually cover a wide range of areas in Islamic banking, microfinance, insurance, capital market, equity market, and also features of Sharia principles in Islamic finance. And we do try to cover some specific topics and contemporary issues to promote Sharia compliant models and strategies globally. So we are very much honored to have today's guest speaker, Professor Dr. NASIM SHIRAZI, who is a professor at the College of Islamic Studies, Hamad bin Khalifa University, Doha, Qatar. Before joining this Islamic Studies Center, he was working as lead economist and acting manager in Islamic Economics and Finance Research Division, IRTI, Islamic Development Bank. Previously, he worked as Deputy Dean at Sulaiman Demirel University and as Director General at International Institute of Islamic Economics, International Islamic University, Islamabad, Pakistan. And Dr. SHIRAZI served as a professor at the International Islamic University, Malaysia as well. He has designed, developed, and taught courses at the graduate and postgraduate levels in economics, finance, Islamic economics, and decision sciences at the national and international universities. With more than 85 publications, Dr. SHIRAZI is well respected for his research in development economics, public finance, and Islamic social finance. He has supervised several PhD, MPhil, and master theses as well. And besides academic excellence, Dr. SHIRAZI has completed several consulting assignments with the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, PPAF, and private organizations. So this is an honor to welcome Dr. NASIM SHIRAZI to conduct today's session entitled Sustainable Development, a Case of Sharing Economy. So please welcome, Prof.
Thank you, Dr. Muhyiddin, and also thanks to the associations for giving me this opportunity to deliver this lecture on sharing economy, basically sustainable economics, case of sharing economy. So I think I'll take 30 to 40 minutes, and then I'll inshallah hand over the floor to you. So do you hear me clearly?
Yes, Prof, it's clear now. Yeah.
Okay. So let me go to the slides. Bear with me a little bit. Let me.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah, Prof. Yeah. In the slide mode.
But what happened?
Prof, you can click on Enable Content.
Okay, Enable Content. Okay,
Yeah.
Enable. I'm just clicking, but it's not working.
Okay. Now.
What happened?
Prof, you start. I'm going to share the slides. Yeah. We can start.
Okay. So you just share it, so then I start it.
Yes, Prof.
Okay, so I'm going to present sustainable development, the case of sharing economy. Next, please. Okay, so the question is why there is a need on sustainability. So there is a discussions and on the sustainability. So why there is a discussion and action on sustainability important now more than ever? So this is because of the linear economy. Now the linear economy is the economy where you take the resources from the nature, you produce the goods and services, you consume the goods and services, and at the end of the life cycle of the goods and services, you discard it or it is wasted. Now, under this system, value is created by producing and selling as many products as possible. So, for increased output, you need more inputs. So, therefore, this is a system ultimately it lead to the waste. Now you see there is a rapid urbanization and there is an industrial growth that have placed huge pressure on the world's natural resources, leading to threats of the resource scarcity, resultantly inflation, and also degraded the ecosystems. Now there are certain estimates. Those estimates show that long-run income elasticity is estimated to be 0.56 for domestic material consumption and around 0.752 for material footprint. What this means is our income increases by 1%, so the domestic resource use increases by 0.56%. Similarly, the material extraction for the production purpose, what we call it domestic material, material footprint, with the increase of 1%, that increased 0.75%. So this means a huge pressure on the resources. Now, you can see our resources are depleting. So the rate at which we are consuming our resources, we will need, according to one estimate, 1.75 piles of earth. So it means a huge pressure on the resources. And there is another estimate that calculates the overshoots days, Now that shows what exhausts its stock of resources into 9 days, 209 days, which it can produce in 365 days. So in other words, resources are depleting at an alarming rate. Now, if the resources are depleting at this rate, human consumption need may not be met in the future. For example, the current population is 7.756 billion, but what about the coming population, which will be close to 10 billion in 2050? So we'll be needing much more resources, and therefore, because of this linear economy, these models, so we are putting a lot of pressure on our resources. Not only the resources are depleting, but there is a decreasing biodiversity because of this take, make, and waste models. So according to one estimate, about 68% there is a drop in biodiversity since 1970. So there is a huge loss to the species on a different regions. Now, other than with the linear economies, what is that? There is also increasing waste. Now, why this waste? Because the population is increasing, urbanization is increasing, and population is increasing. So the middle class is also increasing. So the income is increasing. So more income, more population growth, so more consumption. So more consumption, it means because of this linear economy model, so more waste. According to one estimate, we are generating a waste globally equal to 2.1 billion tons. And this was in 2016. And the forecast is it will be 3.4 billion tons in 2050. And out of this, 33% of this wastage will be mismanaged. And also there is a huge cost for the environment, human health, and all that if we are not changing our behaviors. So other than this, the other light problem is increasing climatic change. Now, there are some 5 top risks in 2020 will be linked to climatic change. For example, increasing risk of natural disasters, extreme weather events, resulting threatening social well-being, food security, and life. Climatic change disproportionately affects basically the poor people are mostly affected. So there is a need to change these models. Next. Okay. Now, business models that require high units of inputs or resources that exceed the availability, we cannot succeed in the future. So in terms of supply of natural resources, there is a one estimate, a likely shortage of 29 billion tons of material in 2050, and that must be dealt with. How? So there is a need to change the business models and have to go for circular economy, and that will lead to sustainability. So we have growth models which are sustainable, and those models are product life cycle extensions, circular supply chain, reduce, reuse, and recycle models, product as a service business model, and sharing economy. So I am just taking only the last one. Other 4 models, inshallah, maybe in the future we will get some opportunity to present, so I'll be doing this. So I'm going only to the sharing economy model. Now, the sharing economy, this has different names or many names. So this is also called collaborative economy, the digital economy, the circular economy, the peer-to-peer economy, and also it is called the gig economy. So the different names. Now, in the sharing economy, the assets or the goods and services are shared by the means of internet between private individuals. Or you can say that access to goods and services facilitated by a community-based online platforms. So this could be free, or this could be on the basis of the fee, but the purpose is to efficiently utilize the society's resources. So this is basically the purpose, and we call it the sharing economy. Next. Now the sharing economy model. This is not a new model. This is really very old model. This is as old as the human history. Now, if you go back to the very primitive society where people were living in jungles and they were hunting. So when they were hunting, let's say the birds, the animals, and like these things, and that was they were consuming for their survivors. Now, if they hunt a big animal, so what they were doing, the behavior was to share among the families, so the neighbors and all. But if a small, for example, they kill a small bird or the bird and a small animal, so they shared among, they consumed within the family. But if this was a big animals, so that was shared among the neighbors and all others. So sharing concept was also there. Now, coming back to the 14th century, if you go back to the 14th century before, when Prophet ﷺ migrated to Medina, where we have the examples of sharing the assets. So what happened at that time, the Muhajirin immigrants, they left everything in Mecca. So they came to Medina without any assets, without anything. So what happened? So this there in Medina, so sharing based on social justice and shared prosperity. So it was really based on sharing and solidarity basis. So what happens, the Ansar share the wealth, they also share their houses, they share the harvest, their crops, and even they share their farmland. So the sharing was not a new concept. This was a very old concept. But what we say, the sharing economy, this name, so this formally came into existence after 2008 global financial crisis. Now, if you look at this, the main contributor toward the sharing economy is the Uber and Airbnb. So they contributed a lot to sharing economy. Now, sharing economy, as already defined, is a collaborative economy, collaborative consumptions. Now, you see in the wartime, and especially recently, consumer attitudes that has been changed, and their attitude basically towards the ownership. Now, instead of owning an asset, they prefer temporarily access to the assets. So this is a win-win situation for both the asset owners and those who are using the assets as well. That is basically collaborative consumption. The people attitude has been changed. They prefer temporary access rather than having the assets as in their own ownership. Now, all this was enabled because of this technology. Now, the users for collaborative consumption, this was enabled by this advancement in the technology. So the technological progress basically enabled wider, easier, and cheaper access to products and services. So this was all possible because of this technology. And next. Just you go to the next slide. Okay. Now, what are the assets or the services people are sharing now? And what is the size of sharing economy? Now, if you see this slide, that will give you an idea what the people are sharing now. These are some of the examples, but there are so many other things that the people are also sharing. Now, if you see the traditional operating models, so previously the people were sharing, this was hiring, for example, tool hiring, this was the tractor hiring, this was business to business accommodation or the hostel, this was the case, booking, book lending, this was also the model, car rental, this was the model, and still car rental is there. and DVD rental. So these are some of the examples that the people were operating in the past. Now still this is there, but now this has been replaced by the sharing economy. Now you look at that. This is consumer to consumer lending and annually financing, that is a crowdfunding. So this is the funding sharing. Then online distance work. So as we experienced during the COVID-19, there's a lot of this sharing, knowledge sharing, information sharing, and all that we experienced during the COVID-19. And before that, you can see a lot of data online. For example, the World Bank publications, some university publications, there are different sites, there are open journals, and some international organization agencies, they are sharing their information. So you can, in your office, at your hand, at different place, you can get these, and these things are being shared. So also consumer to consumers, that is the individual to individual, home sharing. So this is also a trend. And there is a car sharing. There is a one estimate that 86% of the time the car is not used. So therefore it is easier to share your car for the fee purpose. So the car sharing is there. So online music and all that. So the video, etc. So these are also shared. Now looking at the size of this sharing, you can see this is, for example, the traditional sharing model. So this, we take the base year, that is 2013. So about 240 billion USD, that was the size of traditional operating models. So these include different things. And in 2025, the forecast is that this traditional operating model, the size will be $335 billion US dollar, a growth of about 40% from 240 to 335. But if you look at this, the new sharing economy model, that was a small one compared to this in 2013, which was 15 billion. Now, compared to 15 billion, the forecast is in 2025, there will be 335 billions, equal to this amount, but the increase from a small base, 15 billion to 335, it's a huge increase. It's almost more than 2,000% increase in the size of the sharing economy. So now the trend is more towards the sharing economy rather than the traditional business models. Now come to this side, the breaking the mold of traditional employment. So we are taking, let's say, the employment and other things. So look back, for example, the Corona or the COVID-19 crisis, where the world economy is contracted, according to one estimate, IMF estimates that the economy shrank about 6.5% in 2025. And similarly, the ILO estimates show that the world lost about 155 million jobs. And there are a lot of people who are pushed into poverty, already a lot of people in poverty. So the COVID-19 also pushed a lot of other people into the poverty. So the problem is, after the crisis, there will be a problem for the world jobs. So the world jobs will be limited because of the destruction of the economy, because of the contraction of the economy, more people out of the job, business were slashed, and so on. And there will be a need for more job creations because of there is unemployment, but there is more unemployed people pushed into the unemployment categories. So solution is, let's say, the sharing solutions. So this can provide jobs as well. Now, for example, COVID-19 has shown us the word interconnectivity. That's very obvious. So the corona started from one country and expanded to all the world. And you see the world is interconnected. Anything happens in one country, that is spreading to the whole world. So the world is interconnected. So therefore, solution must be collaborative. And shared economy model can be employed in overcoming these type of things. For example, the corona type or the COVID-19 induced crisis. Now, the important other point is that there is a lower barriers to entry into the job market by utilizing the global internet infrastructures. So what happens that there are certain jobs which are unnoticed, and there are certain enterprises, other services, activities, those needs, those type of jobs, those types of skills. So sharing economy can provide the opportunity to link these people with each others. Now, this is possible, this could be through the digitization. So this is very easy because of this, these platforms, digitization of these technologies. Next. Now, bridging the funding gap. And keeping in view this, our present crisis, and the world is affected a lot. So what happens that the global financial markets are witnessing a decline in transaction volume due to tightening of the markets. So hands-on lending by banks. The banks face losses due to growing non-performing loans. Again, this is one case, and there is an increase of default because people income they also suffered. Now, refinancing mortgages by borrowers, they also want to take advantage of the lower interest rate. Now, in the post-COVID world, more funds will be required to revive the businesses which were slowed down, or the businesses which were stopped, or businesses which were very weak. So there's a need to expand existing ones or build to new ones. So that leads a really gap between supply and demand for the funding. So this is really a problem. Now, sharing economy can help through one platform which is called the crowdfunding platforms. And there is a huge potential for investors in maybe new ventures that will create more jobs. And lender can get basically better rates on sharing platforms due to lower transactions in cost. So this is how the funding gaps can be bridged through the sharing economy or the sharing models. Next, please. So bridging the gap of demand and supply. Now, the problem is that some assets are unused, or these assets are underutilized by others in the economy. Now, why this is the case? Because this is induced partly by depleting resources, which put pressure on prices, and another cause may be partly lower capacity of the manufacturers to produce due to economic slowdown. Now the solution is a sharing solution. So where resources are utilized, so these can be shared within economical context where both parties benefit. For example, ride sharing, for example, home sharing, tool sharing platforms which are emerged. So utilizing technology to connect supply and demand, which is also faster, and cheaper. Another is what we call a group buying strategy can be used. So for example, the wholesalers, they sell to the whole buyers, for example, certain buyers. And then they, through the marketing channels, they send to the retailers. But one possibility is a group of individuals to sharing this model. A group buying strategy can be used where they can get from the wholesalers and they can get at a retail price, in the wholesale price. So this is, and then knowledge and expertise sharing, where especially during COVID-19 cases, where the experts need the services and these can be shared. So now, in case of developing economies, we can share or use this model, the sharing model. So we can use the underutilized resources, underutilized assets. So this is for a fees against fees, and you can use the income. So you can share the tools from land, machinery, vehicles, and shops, spaces, and so on. And we can give it to those who need this one, and therefore make the fee, make the money, and also overcome your income gaps as well. So we can bridge the gap of demand and supply through these sharing economy model as well. So the other thing is, what about this sharing economy, technology, and urban development? Now look at this. You will find this sharing economy more in the urban center and in the economy which are very developed, economy which are technically advanced. And this sharing economy is much successful in those areas which is populated, highly populated. So this is more where the population is concentrated and where the countries are advanced and where the technology is available. So, however, there is also a potential to accelerate rural development through entrepreneurships. But the condition is, if we can scale up the enterprises, so then this is also possible. Now, there is also a huge untapped potential in the collaborative use of the data. A lot of data are available, and especially in the health sector, especially in the social sector, even in some other economic sectors, a lot of data are available, and a lot of organizations which are sharing the data, some are with fee and some are free. So this is also possible. So this technology enables us to share a lot of information and a lot of things. But this is, there is a need for the developing country to also go for the technology, because this is the technology which enabled to make all these things easier, cheaper, and accessible. Next. Now, all these things are there, but there are a number of challenges which we can expect while we are using this model, sharing economy model. So the first thing is, The sharing economy must hold fast not to lose the concept of sustainable consumption. This could be through effective use of resources. This could be through strengthening social communities. This could be through providing convenient services, reducing unemployment, enhancing economic and environmental benefits. But for all this, what is important? Important is the trust, which is very essential component in sharing economy. Trust is very important. Now, this trust can be gained through technological advancements in a transparent platforms. So this is possible, advanced and transparent platforms. And although this is available in the developed countries, but developing countries have to struggle for the technological progress or technological advancements. Unless they have this technological advancements, they will not be able to gain these advantages and also win the trust. Now, the problem are some of the challenges we are expecting in the sharing economy model. So these are some concerns are raised, information and privacy concerns. For example, to provide services efficiently, service providers need to acquire large amount of data on their users. For example, location, for car sharing, planes, for, let's say, vacation rentals, let's say, historical information, for example, credit worthiness on lending platforms. So these are some of the concerns, so they need a lot of information. The other concerns are, in this case, there are new monopolies are created. This is expected. The challenges are, let's say, a new monopolies can be created and the traditional industry can be excluded. For example, large companies, they adopt sharing models and they have the money, they can invest in the technology and they can make services cheaper through their platforms because they have the money, they have the technology, they can invest and then control the market. Now, these new monopolies can dictate the terms in the market. So resultantly, they can push out the traditional players. And if this is the case, some people will lose the jobs. Now, if jobs losers, they are unable to get the jobs, then the sharing economy will fail to address the problem which aim to address, because we already discussed employment. We need more and more employment, and shared economy will lead to this one. If the new monopolies are created, then that will create another problem, and that will be basically a serious problem. So another sorry. Another challenge is the use of rating. Now, ensuring efficiency and nurture trust within the platform, that is by using a rating system for service providers and users on the platform. For example, you hire an Uber like that, and then you can see the rating, and then you rate it, and that will be beneficial basically for you, for the driver, for the company. So these ratings help both parties make decisions concerning the product or the services on the platform. But you also see sometimes online services reviewers, they have a negative remarks or negative impact as well. But you see, the jobs depend on rating, and rating depends on the number of jobs accepted. So the sharing economy loses one of its flexibility. So what happens? The rating sometimes become exploitative. As platform works, workers feel pressured to keep operating to get more jobs. So this is really this rating business sometimes also the beneficial for the providers and the parties, but they also put under pressures. So other important thing is the benefits. Expected challenge is the people involved in this sharing economy, sometimes this technology, there is a lack of welfare benefits for the workers. There is no pertinent plan for the workers in this sharing economy model. So this could be another challenge, expected challenge for the sharing economy. Now, certain things could be protected by implementing of the rules. And for example, conducting business beyond scope. So this can be protected by implementing of the rules. For example, look at Airbnb. This was developed for unused personal homes and rooms. Now you look at that today, workers, the Airbnb workers, they use the opportunity of lower barrier to entry provided by the platforms. And they also subleasing the rooms and sometimes the entire building. And they are also running the hotel. There's no restrictions. So they are going beyond their scope. So sometimes these challenges are also faced by this model, which is we call the sharing model. Next. Let me, on the basis of this, let me conclude. Sharing model are, there are there are total 5 models, and I am taking only the sharing model. So the motivation for all that, because we are overusing our resources are being depleted, and we are living on a borrowed time. So we are using more than whatever is available. And because of this, we are over exploiting the resources, resulting in waste is created, environmental problem, and a lot of other things are being there. So participating in share economy, so basically are social. It's not only social, economical, and environmental. So we need sharing economy, which is much needed where we are facing, let's say we are facing environmental crisis. We are facing resource depletions, and we are also facing a lot of health crisis. So what is required? So the governments have to play an important role in promoting the share economy. So industry need to be regulated and enacting promotive innovative policies. So it will be beneficial if a collaborative efforts with private sector are we required to a collaborative environment with the private sector to develop sharing model, especially on certain projects which have a high socio-economic impact. So that is basically needed. So we have to change our behavior, and we have to go to the circular economy and living the a linear economy in order to sustain the development in the coming future. Thank you. I have to stop here. And if we have certain things to discuss, so I'm here to discuss.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof, for this wonderful discussion. Alhamdulillah, Prof already discussed one of the models for the circular growth, which is sharing economy. And inshallah, we'd love to have another session in next month. I will, of course, communicate with the Prof to discuss maybe another 2 models in next month, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much, Prof. And now we open the floor for any questions or any additional point. If anybody would like to share, please welcome. Either you may raise your hand or you may write in the question box. Prof, there is a question, Brother Qasim, okay, regarding the sharing economy in the near future. Do we have to consider blockchain as a game changer, or people, companies, and governments?
Okay, should I answer this or
yes,
collect it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, basically, sharing economy, all these models, if we make it more stronger and more beneficial, we need the technology. And this technology enables us to share many things. For example, we freely exchanging the data, information, the knowledge, the skills, and so many things. So blockchain is another technology that can be used for this sharing economy. But sometimes the blockchains, you have the access to the information where to want to provide the information. So others, it's not much open. So I don't know much about this this technology, but whatever is the technology that may be, I think, useful for the sharing economy as well, if it is open and accessible to everyone.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Thank you, Brother Qasim, for your question. Mustafa Al-Qadiri, okay, most welcome. We are very much happy. Another question, what is the difference between the sharing economy and the digital economy? Yes, Prof.
These have different names. Sharing economy, gig economy, digital economy, the same thing.
But the same thing.
Same thing. These are 5, 6 names. Digital economy, gig economy, sharing economy, cumulative economy, cooperative economy. So these are different names.
Okay, Prof. Thank you. There's a brother, Babakar Bashir. Okay, I switch your microphone for you. Please, welcome. Brother Babakar Bashir, yes. Brother Babakar Bashir, you raise your hand. Please welcome, yeah. Any more questions, please, you may write in the question box or you may raise your hand. There is a question from Professor Dr. Zuljastri from Islam University, Malaysia. Does the circular economy follows the Maqasid Sharia principles? Prof.
Okay. So, Brother Zuljastri, Assalamu alaikum. We are meeting through this online platform. And this is one of the benefits. Yes, because circular economy is protecting the environment and protecting the environment, decreasing the waste, and providing the benefits to the, that is the sustainability ultimately. And this is the objective of Maqasid Sharia, protecting the environment. So there is no clash. So circular economy and the Maqasid Sharia, they are the same. Nothing is different.
Thank you, Prof. And thank you, Prof. Duljastri, for your question. And any more question, please? Any more question or any additional remark or comment? You are welcome. Yeah, we have sent you the link in chat group, so you can download it. And in fact, we are going to post this lecture, and this lecture is also recorded in our YouTube channel. So we are going to post in our official page in Facebook, as well as in Twitter, and also in our website. So you can download it from either chat group or in our Facebook page or website. I think there is no more questions. So, okay, thank you very much. Thank you all for your participation, for joining us in this session. We thank you very much. And our special thanks to Professor Dr. NASIM SHAH SHIRAZI for your this wonderful session and for providing us main information, data, and also the solutions to problems for achieving sustainable development in economy. So we thank you very much on behalf of our Islamic Economics Association of Kuwait University, and we would love to have you more in future, inshallah, to discuss some other issues and models, inshallah. So, and we thank our management, especially Dr. Alal Abid, Director General of the Association, and all the staffs and lecturers, professors who joined this session. Thank you very much. Prof, if you would like to say a few words as a concluding remark, please welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And indeed, I'm very happy that you have this association. I think these associations need to be very active, and it seems that that's very active. And you are posting a lot of other things on your website. Please also send me the link and all that. So I'll be happy to share another in the next month, another 2 models, and then another month, another 2 models. And after this, completing this, so I'll be happy to share or contribute any other lecture if you require. So thank you for giving me the opportunity, and inshallah,
Prof, in fact, in a week, we receive more than 9,000 students and participants, including lecturers, professionals around the world, more than 40 countries, especially in our lectures and programs in Arabic language and English language. So every day we do have programs either in Arabic or English. Okay. So this is Alhamdulillah. So I'm going to send you the link of our website and also Facebook page. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. We'll see you again. With that, we conclude today's session here. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.